Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Well, the winds have changed. We're blowing through Petco Park. Everett Cabrera is back, and Alexi Amarista is here as well. The Padres make a couple of roster moves today. Orlando Hudson is released by the ball club here this afternoon. Padres and the Dodgers. This is game 2 of this 2-game series coming up in just a moment here from Petco Park. And once again, good evening, everybody. It's Andy Mazer in for Dick Enberg, joined by Mark Grant. And I don't think these moves were seen as any real big surprise.
No, I think this was anticipated throughout not only the baseball world, but certainly here in San Diego. And just like that, Andy, the two youngsters are being thrown right into the lineup up the middle. Shortstop and second baseman for the Padres tonight.
And the moves today, Orlando Hudson placed on unconditional release waivers. Jason Bartlett placed on the 15-day DL. Eric Stoltz claimed off of waivers from the White Sox. And the team, as you saw, recalled Everett Cabrera and Alexi Amarista. We'll hear from General Manager Josh Burns explained the move of releasing Orlando Hudson today. Our Geico quote of the game.
I hope O-Dog does well, but it wasn't working here. And, it's not just, sort of saying it's a sunk cost. It's saying we have guys ready to step in and deserve a chance. And I think we got to that point with Cabrera and Amarista and even Forsythe starting to get healthier and Jerko improving, so we have some depth. Because it feels like every time we made a move this year, there's an injury the next day, and your depth is compromised. So I think we're set to do this.
And it's good to know that they do have some depth, and we'll hear more from General Manager Josh Burns a little bit later on in our ball game. He'll join us in the third. But again, it's nice to have that depth. Absolutely,
and this is a performance-based move. You got to have performance in this league, or you don't stick around. And this team, quite frankly, needs a spark. And the quote from Josh Burns also: "We need to get better." Hopefully, it turns tonight.
Absolutely, and we'll look forward to a ball game here coming up in just a few moments as the San Diego Padres are chasing a sweep. That's right, they could get their first 3-game winning streak of the season. Padres and Dodgers coming up next. Padres baseball, brought to you by AT&T, the largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. And back here at Petco Park, as the Padres will look for the sweep of the Los Angeles Dodgers and try for their first 3-game winning streak of the season. They would try to send the Dodgers to their first 3-game losing streak, as Don Mattingly looking out on the field to play here, and he'll send out this lineup here against Edinson Volquez. A little different than yesterday. D. Gordon back in there at shortstop leading off. Mark Ellis will bat second at second base. Bobby Abreu in left field will bat third. It's Andre Ethier, the cleanup hitter in right field. Adam Kennedy will bat fifth at third base. James Loney, the number 6 hitter at first base. A.J. Ellis, the catcher, hits seventh. Tony Gwynn Jr., he'll be in center field and batting eighth. And Aaron Harang will be on the mound, and he will bat in the number 9 spot for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Edinson Volquez going to the mound here. And Volquez making his 9th start of 2012.
He's getting better and better, Andy. And as Padre fans, it's nice to see Edinson Volquez get the ball once every 5th day. And quite frankly, this kid should have 6 wins. But he doesn't say anything about it. He just gets on that mound once every 5th day and continues to throw all 3 of his quality pitches. The fastball located, that curveball, and, of course, what we talked about in the pregame show, that nasty changeup that he possesses.
And he'll go to work with some new mates behind him. Alexi Amarista is playing over at second base today. Everett Cabrera, also joining him from Tucson, is the starting shortstop tonight. And it's good to see a couple of young guys getting a chance to play up the middle.
Hey, up the middle makes a team strong. You've got speed in center field with Maben. The Cabarista combo about to make their debut.
I like that. You can see the T-shirts now. First pitch of this ball game will sail a little bit wide to D. Gordon. We're underway. Gordon has been in a bit of a pronounced slump. He was taken out of the lineup for a couple of days. Worked in the cage, doing some tee work, as if you will there, just hitting off that tee. He has to get the stroke back. Our umpires tonight, Ted Barrett calling the balls and strikes. Brian Runge, the umpire at third. Tim McClellan, the crew chief, at second. And Marvin Hudson at first. And it's gone to 3-0. Last guy you want to walk.
And right out of the get-go, I don't like the body language of Edinson Volquez. After ball 2 was called, could have been a questionable pitch, but you know he kind of turned his back slowly and kind of shook his head a little bit. And hey, make a good pitch the next time.
And he gets the call. 3-1.
And work all the way back. Right?
We've seen it done before. And he lost it. Check out the defense here behind Edinson Volquez. Mentioned a couple of those players, but let's set the complete defense for you. James Darnell, after that great catch, will be in left field again today. Cameron Maben in center, Venable in right. Headley on the left side. Amarista and Alonso on the right. And Edinson Volquez will throw to John Baker tonight. Looking out, it's a little cloudy, but it's comfortable. 61 degrees and partly cloudy here in downtown San Diego. Mini 2-game series coming to an end here tonight before interleague play will begin tomorrow against the Angels. The first thing is first. Volquez gets ahead.
Nice gap in left center right there. As you take a look at Cameron Maben playing on the second baseman side of second base, they're banking if he hits the ball in the air, he goes the opposite way.
Good hack.
You know what I'm looking forward to? A couple of kids playing a little hardball up the middle. 23-year-old Amarista, 25-year-old Cabrera. They're going to have some fun, huh?
They definitely will. And Amarista kind of coming up here at 5 feet 5 inches tall. But the reputation of playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Gordon not moving, and a swing and a miss. And Ellis is out number 1.
Oh, looked like way out of the zone. It looked like maybe it was a changeup. Didn't have the same bite or break. Kind of tough to tell out of the hand.
because it was so low in the zone, and almost picked out of the dirt. Kind of tough. You didn't really see that action as far as changeup.
Well, that right there is exactly where the Padres want to see Matt Kemp. They don't want to see him hurt, but they don't want to see him in this game because he has been a one-man wrecking crew against the Padres this season. Getting over 500, but of course out with a hamstring injury. Here's Bobby Abreu with Gordon at first base and a called strike. Seems like it's a lot of fastballs here today.
Well, he wants to establish that fastball early. Remember, they want him to come out and throw right at 95. Don't work up to it. Come right out of the gate.
D. Gordon always a threat to move. He in fact has 5 stolen bases in the 7 starts he's made against the Padres this year. And that one's into right center. Maben reaching but can't make the play. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Gordon is going to be rounding third and heading toward the plate. He will score. The relay throw to third base gets away, but not far enough for Abreu to think about heading toward the plate. But the Dodgers get on the board first and lead 1-0. Bobby Abreu with a triple.
And he beat the shift, Andy. This pitch here, a two-seamer away, it looked like. Abreu takes that ball that's pitched away and beats the shift to right center field. Cameron may be doing his best to cut it off. Cannot come up with it, and everybody is off and running. Gordon stumbles a little bit. Look out! Regains his composure and scores the first run for the Dodgers.
So Bobby Abreu has driven in 5 runs since he was picked up off the waiver wire from the crosstown, if you will, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So he has made an instant impact here with this offense of the Dodgers, looking for a replacement for Matt Kemp for the time being. So Ethier backed off the plate by Volquez. Trying to pick up the slack at 8 home runs and 34 runs batted in.
And just like that, John Baker out to have a chat with Volquez. He mentioned that earlier in our interview yesterday. He's going to pick the right time to go out and talk. You know, after the triple, now falling behind 1-0, it's time to go out there and kind of settle down, Volquez, and get things right.
There you see our Fox track, brought to you by Southland Technology. And it shows that Volquez may have gotten the benefit of a call a little bit outside the Fox track. But he'll certainly take it. Andre Ethier, you think about Matt Kemp all the time, but Andre Ethier actually leads this ball club and leads the National League with 34 runs batted in, mainly because he's always knocking Matt Kemp in.
Exactly.
Into shallow right, racing in now. Venable has to play it out of bounds. Another run's going to score. Ethier has his 35th run batted in, and just like yesterday, the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead here in the first.
And Will Venable respecting the power. Respecting the power of Ethier up in the box off the end of the bat as well. So that'll deaden the ball. Will was also playing a shade over towards right center field. So out in front a little bit just to pull that baseball and get that run home.
Something new and different here in the last 5 starts for Volquez, giving up runs in the first inning. He put up goose eggs in his last 5 starts. And 2 runs have come home here for the Dodgers in inning number 1 with Adam Kennedy at the plate. There you see the runner at first base, Andre Ethier, and how the infield is playing him. Or playing Kennedy, that is. There goes Ethier. And he slides for nothing. Gets the pants dirty. Now we'll at least know that he played.
And take a little bit out of him.
Very true. I'm talking to a few of the Dodger folks. I mean, with the absence of Matt Kemp, obviously you got to find some offense somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Collectively, the Dodgers have to regroup and work in bunches.
Mm-hmm. And Ethier is the one that comes top of mind.
He's a great player right there, Matt Kemp.
And a lot of folks wondered if he'd ever figure it out. And he certainly figured it out last year and continued this year. way out front. And there's that devastating change we talked about. And that's the second out.
Have confidence in that pitch, throw it any time. And even though he missed a location, he wanted that one down and away. It's the velocity that's taken off of that pitch that fooled Adam Kennedy.
Tom Mattingly used to be able to hit that changeup pretty far, didn't he?
Yes, he could. He could hit any pitch a long way.
So here's Loney. Volquez trying to do what good pitchers do, and that's limit damage. Give your offense a chance. Again, gets ahead.
At 94 with the fastball. Good movement. You make a good point, Andy. Damage control. Leave it at 2. Especially after yesterday where, as you mentioned, the Dodgers scored 2 in the first. A fine job by Clayton Richard yesterday. He was locked in.
Yes, he was. From the very first pitch of the game, you could tell. Even though he came down 2-0, that was a little bloop single there by Gwynn yesterday, and then all of a sudden you get Herrera knocking that ball down the line. But Clayton Richard, he's got the Dodgers number, doesn't he?
He sure does.
6 career wins against LA. Most he has against any team. Got him. So he strikes out the side on the changeup there, but in between a couple of runs scored, and the Dodgers get off to a 2-0 lead. Coming up is the bottom of the first. Venable will lead it off. Padres will come to bat here. She had one of those juice box drinks. I love those.
Oh, they're awesome.
Oh, those were great as a kid. Bud Black, manager of the San Diego Padres, sending out this lineup brought to you by Toyota. Will Venable leads it off. He'll be followed by Cameron Maben. Chase Headley will bat third at third base. Yonder Alonso will be the cleanup hitter. James Darnell, John Baker, Everett Cabrera, and Alexi Amarista. The new duo there in the middle of the infield will bat 7 and 8. And Edinson Volquez will bat 9th against Aaron Harang.
Well, had his best start of the season his last time out. Just 1 run, 4 hits, 8 innings for Aaron Harang. As I mentioned in the pregame show, not an overthrower. He's going to top out about 90, 91. Slider, cutter, curve change for Aaron Harang.
Good spot. And Venable unable to hang up on that swing. Or hang on, if you will. Jam shot again. Kind of foul to the screen.
Last time, remember Harang struck out 9 in a row against the Padres? It was like the stealth fastball. I mean, they were swinging and missing. He's got to have a little deception with that short arm delivery of his. When I say short arm, he doesn't get really extended out by the side of his head. It's almost like he comes from behind his head, then all of a sudden the ball's on top of you.
And from 0-2 to 2-2. Now, does that height have something to do with that, too? Because of the fact that he's got all those moving parts.
Could be, and sometimes he gets that good downward playing with his fastball. We knew that when he was with the Padres. That was one of the pitches where he had to really master to be in control, to dot that fastball down and away to the righties, down and away to the lefties. And he will go up the ladder as well on the fastball with 2 strikes.
Broken bat, slow roll to second. And Ellis will throw out Venable. Well, you're mentioning that 9 strikeout performance. Time for our Squaw Casino Daycation highlight of the game, and we'll go back to that ball game where Harang set the franchise record with 9 consecutive strikeouts against the Padres way back on April 13th.
Fastball, fastball, curveball, fastball. The fastball, they just couldn't get that top hand on it, just couldn't square it up. There was a breaking ball again, but he had it working, and we saw a part of history that night in Los Angeles.
Well, the funny thing about that game, not funny, but kind of ironic, is the fact that he did not figure into the decision. And it was a game that was decided in the last inning.
It's just unbelievable. The greats like Sutton, Koufax, Drysdale, Hershiser. Aaron Harang's got the record. Most consecutive strikeouts with 9.
And Maben in the hole, 0-2. As you point out, not overpowering stuff. Nope. That was at 87. They explained the defensive alignment that pretty much straight up here from Maben. Back with a slider that time.
He might heat up a little bit with the velocity. But 88 right out of the gate.
Just missing again. Now, that kind of reminds me, because we talked about Volquez in the top of the first. The Padres want him to come out throwing 95. An older pitcher and guy with maybe not as much gas behind it. Work into it a little bit more?
I think that could be the case with Aaron Harang, and he's been around the block longer than Edinson Volquez has. And Edinson Volquez possesses that 95. We know he can throw 95. Aaron Harang can't throw 95.
Right.
So he knows his limitations. He knows that if it's okay, it's going to be okay if he comes out at 88 and works his way up to 91. I think if Volquez works it at 90, 91, then works his way up, he could get into trouble early.
Tops out at 90 so far tonight. Breaking ball inside. Try the changeup. And again from 0-2 to 3-2. There's Chase Headley on deck. 3 RBIs yesterday. Maben gets into one. Into right center. Gwynn chasing and getting under it to make the catch. He covers a ton of ground out there in center field, and Tony Gwynn calls it in for out number 2. Let's check out the defense. You saw Tony Gwynn there in center for the Dodgers. It's Abreu in left and Ethier in right. On the infield, it's Kennedy and Gordon on the left side. Ellis and Loney on the right. And tonight's battery, Aaron Harang and A.J. Ellis. Mentioned it was a little overcast here at the ballpark, but very, very comfortable and great environment for Major League Baseball here at Petco Park as you see the defending Cy Young Award winner, Clayton Kershaw. Shame to have to miss him in this series, huh?
Yeah. He was my pick to throw the next no-hitter. And you know, when you talk no-hitters, really anybody can do it. There have been many greats in this game who have not thrown a no-hitter, and then there are guys like Bud Smith, who no-hit the Padres back at Qualcomm back in the day. Len Barker threw a perfect game. You know, it's got to be a lot of luck involved, too.
Absolutely right. You saw a guy like Philip Humber throw a perfect game and has not been able to retire batters since.
Right.
Tricky game. He gets a piece and fouls it back.
See, that's part of Harang's game. The last pitch we just saw. Pitch number 5. Up and in, trying to prevent Chase Headley from getting extended. Now he has the ability to go slider down and in, change up down and away, two-seamer down and away. Slider down and in.
And no appeal necessary. That's a strikeout. And a 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Harang. Padres go in order. We're through an inning. It's 2-0 LA. We see Dave Winfield, the Executive Vice President, Senior Advisor here for the San Diego Padres.
That guy could hit. Number 31.
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Famer.
That's up there on the batter's eye as well. Retired.
Talk about a presence at the plate.
Huh. Big guy.
Oof. Intimidating.
So here's A.J. Ellis to lead off. Tucks out of the way there. Of the curve. And it's ball 1. Trainer caught yesterday's game for the Dodgers. He's kind of become the personal catcher of Chris Capuano, and A.J. Ellis pretty much gets everybody else.
And if Capuano keeps having the success he's had, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, we got a nice little gig being his personal valet.
There are a few guys that were able to do that throughout their major league careers. And it's gone to 3-0. Remember, Henry Blanco got his start with Maddox. Gets a strike. And if I remember correctly, it also led to Josh Bard being traded to the San Diego Padres because he couldn't catch Tim Wakefield's
That's right.
ball.
That's right.
Josh Bard and Clay Meredith came here from Boston. And there's ball 4. Let's take a look now at our Lexus keys to the game, and we turn to mud.
Well, it was a sad note that we heard today in the music world because of the passing of the Queen of Disco, Donna Summer. So we're going to go off that theme. Hey, dim the lights, right? Those first place Dodgers, dim them down, those Hollywood lights. And also hot stuff. You know, we want to keep the streak going. Padres win tonight, be 3 in a row. And if they beat these Dodgers, you mentioned it earlier, Andy, that would be the first 3-game losing streak for the Dodgers. So need some hot stuff from these Padres tonight.
So Tony Gwynn will dig into at home plate. There's the numbers on Tony so far this year. Volquez missing. Do we rename Petco Park MacArthur Park here tonight in honor of Donna Summer?
Good one. That's sad, man. That disco music in my day, man, that was a big part of my life.
Oh, yeah. Junior high and high school dances.
Of course, she was a big part of that.
Good block there by Baker.
Well, it might take a few pitches for Volquez to get locked in. Right now, he's bouncing the breaking ball. And just like that, Darren Balsley out of the dugout to have a chat. Maybe he's noticed something in his delivery there with Cabrera. Got a little convention going on that hill.
Well, you pick the uniforms. Now you pick your game. Tomorrow night, Padres are going to wear their brown and gold 1978 uniforms against the Angels. And, of course, in honor of Donna Summer, you can get to the ballpark early and enjoy a 70s-themed pregame party presented by Verizon Wireless. Party will start at 5 o'clock. First pitch at 7:05. Get tickets for all 3 retro nights. The Padres Retro Mini Plan, Padres.com, or 619-795-5555.
There you go.
Gets the strike.
That's the way to bounce back. Mention it all the time. The best compliment you give your teammates, your coach, your catcher. The next pitch after a meeting. Yeah. Strike.
So Volquez trying to find the groove here.
Hey, it might take one pitch to where you get that feel back. And then you're right back in the game.
And to right, a base hit for Gwynn. So first and second with nobody out for Aaron Harang.
Tony did a nice job. Watch him get on top of this ball. Going up the ladder like that, I don't know if that was by design because Baker wanted it down and away. Good recognition on the fastball and pulling that baseball as well because Tony's, usually he's a hitter that will try to slap the ball the other way. He recognized that one nicely out of the hand and spun on it.
So there you see the runners, first and second. There you see the corner infielders, both in on the grass, expecting a bunt here from Harang.
He wants to bunt it down the third baseline.
Popped it up. Headley with a dive, but cannot make the play.
Good effort, Chase.
Absolutely. Kind of thinking out loud here with the catcher running at second base. Take a look at this play first. Almost got there. Well, with the catcher running at second, obviously Harang now wants to get that ball to third because there's a chance to throw him out at third base if the ball goes somewhere else.
That's why Volquez, he's got to really bust it off the mound to third base side because if he gets there quickly, he can turn. Remember, it's a forced play at third base.
Again, showing bunt to third and perfectly executed. Only one play. It's first base, and they'll get the man at first. Well, that's exactly where we wanted to go. So it puts him at second and third. Catcher Ellis down to third base. And Tony Gwynn, the trail runner, now at second. One away. Back to the top of the order for D. Gordon. Not a lot of speed at third. Plenty of speed at second. Gordon drew a walk his first time, eventually scored the first run on the Abreu triple back in the first. We're in the second inning. And again, Volquez is falling behind.
You always have to be aware of the squeeze. Any situation. We've seen it a number of times. Just when you don't expect it, teams will put it on.
Saw Tim Stauffer do it the other day.
Exactly.
He did lay down a bunt, but Ellis was not charging down the line, so more of a safety squeeze.
Right. That's one of those plays where the runner has to watch the ball off the bat before he commits. With the infielders charging, if the ball beats the infielder, the ball meaning goes past the infielder, then the runner can make a mad dash towards home plate.
Still in play here with one strike, so Headley will inch in a little bit there at third. And no indication of bunt there, and a pitch outside. Gordon will look down and get some signs from Tim Wallach, third base coach, former major leaguer of note. As you look at the reason why D. Gordon has been out of the lineup recently, he's hitting under 100 in those last 5 games. He can field, he can throw, he can run.
That's another reason why, you know, it would be a logical thing for him to try to drag bunt.
That'll take a good changeup. Is kind of fighting a little bit here, but again, kind of the mark of a good pitcher when he can get through without his best stuff.
Facing some adversity, going to his secondary pitches, going to his number 1 pitch. You got to locate it. It'd be nice to have a one hopper at one of the middle infielders.
Fly ball to shallow center. May have been getting under it. He's got it. Runner heading toward the plate, and the throw was actually towards second base. And Ellis will slide in safely with the 3rd run of the game. 3-0 Dodgers. Not sure if he thought that Gwynn was off the bag and he could double him up, or if it was just kind of an in-between throw.
Well, when I look at this fly ball, Cameron really didn't get a good running start underneath that baseball. And regardless if he's going to throw it to the plate or to second base, it was almost like he was camped underneath it rather than timing it and running a running catch to get that momentum. I'm thinking right along with you, Andy, that he was thinking about going to second base, hoping that Tony was going to commit to 3rd.
And you'd think with the speed of Gwynn that he would anticipate the throw home. So maybe not a bad idea. But a run is in. So now a 2 away. It's Mark Ellis. And he'll pop that one up foul. Into the seats.
And even though A.J. Ellis doesn't have blazing speed, I don't know if he would have gotten him or not. That would have taken a Dave Parker arm, a cannon out there, and an accurate throw to boot.
Ellis getting some words of wisdom there in the dugout. David's still kind of thinking about that play a little bit.
Doesn't quite have the feel for that curveball yet. Because when it's on, he'll throw it for a strike, and it'll be at the knees, and it'll be a nasty pitch.
So the numbers on Ellis and scoring position situations. Hitting just over 100, but does have 7 runs batted in. Bounce back up the middle. It'll be fielded by Amarista. He'll throw back behind Gwynn, and now they have him in a rundown. The throw comes home. And Alonso will now cover the plate. And Amarista will finally tag out Tony Gwynn. Not what you would consider a textbook relay or rundown on a 5-4, 2-5, 3-4 put out. 1 run is in. 3-0 Dodgers to the bottom of the 2nd. I'll guarantee it. 3-0 Dodgers. As Venable will lead off. Excuse me, Alonso will lead off. Padres win in order in the first. And now Alonso down, no balls and 2 strikes.
Now that, I am jealous of that man right there. Look at that salad. He's got the sweet beard. He's got the sweet bandana working. See, you got to have the right moss to pull that off. And that gentleman can do that.
Got jammed. And lifts it out to short left. Speedy Gordon will get under that and make the catch. We're out number 1. Let's head down to the field level and check in with Layla Rahimi.
Thanks, Andy. Earlier today, the Padres were supporting the Boys and Girls Clubs of America with a big donation. In fact, Clayton Richard and Joe Thatcher are part of the party to give the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego a $5,000 donation. And Clayton Richard and Joe Thatcher both very active with their Boys and Girls Clubs back home in their home state of Indiana. Guys, back to you.
All right, Layla, thank you. It's always good to see those guys getting involved in something and
Absolutely.
giving back to this community. Yeah, they play a kids game. They get a lot of money, but boy, these guys donate a lot of time.
Hey, think back when you were a kid and some of the events you went to and you saw a big leaguer show up and just talk.
Man.
What an impression that was, huh?
Absolutely. Talking a little hitting there in the dugout with Phil Plantier and Will Venable. It's James Darnell, who made a fantastic catch in yesterday's ball game and saved the day, really. Getting another start here.
Hey, no pun intended. He's made great strides, huh? In left field.
Absolutely.
Drafted as a third baseman. Oh, cuteness.
Check out this fine work against Andre Ethier in the 9th inning.
Long run. Laying out.
And Harang reaches up and makes that play. And quickly, 2 retired for the Padres here in the second.
Oh, major cuteness right there. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give that kid a star. He deserves. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, Little Mermaid? No way. That's awesome.
You're jealous, aren't you?
Yeah.
So there's John Baker doing the catching here tonight. Only had the game yesterday. Baker had a great game in that final game in Washington. 3-hit day with 3 runs batted in against Steven Strasburg.
You know, Aaron Harang, Andy, is one of those pitchers, too. He finds that groove, hits his spots. He can be very effective. We saw that last year as a Padre. Sliders down and in. Fastballs in.
And for a team that lost 91 games last year, Aaron Harang was 14-7 and a career best 3.64 on his ERA for the Padres last year. Baker gets into one into left center. That's going to get down and against the wall. Baker is going to cruise into second with the Padres' first hit of the night.
Well, you hear Mark Sweeney talking about using the whole field. First of all, he gets a pitch that's elevated. That's in between the belt and the Padres on his chest. And he doesn't get froggy up there trying to pull the ball because it's a big old fat pitch. He hits it well where it was pitched. It was up, it was outer third, just wearing out left center field for the double. Third one for John Baker.
So here's Everett Cabrera. Good to see him in the clubhouse today. Likeable young guy. Really burst down the scene back in 2009 as a Rule 5 pick. And then ran into some trouble. I mean, the league made adjustments against him, and Everett is still learning how to make those adjustments against the league.
And his manager in Tucson, the AAA club, Terry Kennedy, said he put together good at-bats, hitting the ball hard, and his hands are a little higher in his at-bat stance, and the reason why he made that adjustment is because he wants to concentrate on hitting more the top half of the ball rather than the hands being low and popping everything up. So the hand's a little higher.
Handled there at second by Ellis. And the Padres are done here in the second. They get their first hit, the Baker double, but cannot score. 3-0 LA to the third. The Miller time later in tonight's ballgame, brought to you by Miller Lite. As we peer in from the park at the park to the beautiful field here at Petco Park. And yeah, they hang out together and they're getting along. No punches are being thrown. It's good. Not that we can say that Dodger fans and Padre fans can't get along. We can respect the rivalry. You know?
Absolutely. Just talk some ball. Have some fun.
Talk some ball. You're at a ball game.
Cheer for your team,
but be respectful of the other. So Abreu drove in the first run. We'll see his former team coming in with a 3-game series starting tomorrow, the LA Angels of Anaheim. And the count even. So Abreu, when he first came to the Dodgers, was wearing the number 33, and then he has since changed to the number 23 because his real number, 53, is retired for Don Drysdale. Bounce to first. That's a fair ball. And Alonso will retire Abreu. Let's take a look at some of those matchups for the Angels games. Jared Weaver and Jeff Suppan tomorrow. And remember that Saturday is a special time. It's going to be a 7:05 start. Of course, we'll be on the air with Padres Live for you at 6. So Saturday, normally 5:35, will be a 7:05 start. That'll be Dan Herron and Tim Stauffer and Irvin Santana and Anthony Bass will battle it out on Sunday.
These guys are texting their friends saying, hey, guys, remember Saturday, 7:05. Make a note of it. LOL. OMG.
BRB. Be right back.
BFF.
Way out in front.
GTG.
GTG.
Gotta go.
Nice.
Hey, Volquez has got to be a little bit more economical. 19 pitches in the first inning, 19 in the second inning. Next toss will be number 44.
And it's low. Touching 95 on the gun. Padres. Brain Trust looking on. Good changeup. Yeah, is that a case a little bit of a pitching backwards?
Exactly. It was 2-1, right? So it's a fastball count. He counters with the changeup. Ethier's looking for the fastball, and Volquez throws one of his best pitches.
In the air to center. This one will not carry. And Maben will make the catch. Out number 2.
Meet the Fox Sports San Diego girls, Brittany and Krista. Update your status and follow them online as they keep you posted on what's happening in San Diego sports. It's easy, folks. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter. All access is just a click away. There you go. Sweet lid. See that?
Yeah. So here's Adam Kennedy. Because it does not look like he's in any kind of a groove.
Very cute.
Oh, yeah. Baseball on top.
I like the hat.
Yeah. Now that is a picture right there.
Priceless.
3-0.
Just can't seem to find the rhythm, the release point on that fastball. A lot of the fastballs from Volquez have been up. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres, has the eagle eye. He's watching every movement. He's so great to talk mechanics with.
4 straight pitches. And Kennedy will trot on down to first base with 2 away to bring up James Loney.
You know, as I look at this coaching staff, hey, Buddy Black, San Diego State, Darren Balsley, Mount Carmel High School. Local guys, huh?
Yeah.
Darren Balsley, he used to ride his bike to Jack Murphy Stadium to watch the Padres as a kid. Yeah, what do you know? He finds himself in a big league uniform, big league pitching coach for his hometown team. Up again.
Baker will trot out.
Sometimes it's just so tough when you're out there on the hill. You're trying to make good pitches, and for the life of you, you just cannot execute.
It doesn't matter what happened in the bullpen before the game. You may have been throwing everything for a strike in the bullpen.
And Andy, also, the
Works the
opposite
other way.
happens. You're in the bullpen, and you're like, oh, my gosh, how am I going to get anybody out tonight? Next thing you know, you're throwing 8 innings of shutout ball.
That'll send Maben back. Still shy of the warning track. He'll reach up and make the grab, and that's the inning. Josh Burns, the GM of the San Diego Padres, will join us next. 3-0 Dodgers in the 3rd. And wouldn't you know it, Alexi Amarista is leading off. And we have the general manager, Josh Burns, joining us here in the booth. And I know it was a busy day for you today. And one of the guys that you brought up is coming to the plate.
Yeah, it was a busy day. You know, you spend a few weeks really sort of setting the stage for moves this big. And today was the day we did it. Good timing here. Good to see Amarista in his first at bat.
Josh, it's always tough in this game of baseball. We all know that it's a performance business, but roster's only 25 spots. Somebody has to go, and you've got a long relationship with Orlando Hudson. It had to be a tough day for you.
Very tough. He handled it like a pro. He knows how I feel about him. It just wasn't working here. And, you know, I do think we got to get offense. Obviously, we know defense and base running and those things in the middle of the field. We also need better offense, and we weren't getting it. And, you know, as a team, we struggle with you know, basic thing, batting average, too many strikeouts, and Amarista's more of a history of high batting average, low strikeouts. So hopefully he can provide a spark.
He's got a kind of a violent swing.
Yeah, he swings hard.
He's not afraid to swing that shit lately.
Yeah. We all. I mean, it's, you know, we've seen smaller guys, Jimmy Rollins and Dustin Pedroia, who aren't afraid to take a pretty good pass, and he's kind of like that. Hopefully he can do some of the things they can do.
Speeding down the line, but the deflection rolls right to Ellis, and a 1-4-3 put out for out number one. Now, I saw that graphic come up and listed him at 5'8". Now, if he's 5'8", I'm 6'2". But, you know, hey, the guy plays with it, and the reputation is that he does play with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. Well, you know, everyone lies about their age. Maybe he lies about his height, but you know, I mean, we know the nature of the game, and as we talked about, for a smaller guy, he actually has a little bit of pop, but you know, can use his legs and can play defense. So, anyway, we all know smaller guys have done it, so we'll see how he does.
And with the abundance of pitching that you have, you had to give a pitcher, Ernesto Frieri, in order to get a player, but you also got in return Don Roach, a good-looking pitcher that you saw in Double-A.
Yeah. I might actually go up. He's still in Elsinore. I might go up the road, see him tomorrow night. But he's got a great sinker, 90-94 strike thrower. So we're excited to have him. And you know, Frieri did great for us, and our bullpen has been a strength. But we felt like we're getting two guys back that could help us.
So Roach was an A-ball pitcher when you saw him,
right?
Okay.
Right.
Volquez at the plate here, and also with Amarista was Everett Cabrera coming back up, and Eric Stoltz, a lefty with some major league experience that you claimed off of waivers from the White Sox. So it's three different guys coming up.
Yeah, I mean, Cabrera we're all familiar with here. He was playing really well in AAA, and you know, we're excited to give him a chance. You know, he's played all over the field. Shortstop is still going to be his primary position, and we'll see what he can do up here. Hopefully he gets back to the 09 form.
And Volquez called out on strikes. Out number two here in the third, visiting with GM Josh Burns.
Josh, what type of reports were you getting back from Tucson regarding Everett Cabrera and his maturing as a ball player?
Yeah, I mean, Terry Kennedy said it's the best he's seen him play. Swinging the bat well, hitting the ball hard, controlling his swing. You know, it's funny. Players like that, even last year, TK and I would say that, you know, Cabrera probably takes too many pitches. You're in the role, setting the table, getting on base, and you end up in bad counts. So I think he's started to refine his approach as a hitter, and he's gotten good results.
My buddy was talking about before the game that the game has slowed down a little bit for him. And, you know, coming up from as a Rule 5 guy in 09, he kind of burst on the scene, but then the league made some adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, the Rule 5, it can go any which way, and he had, you know, a great 09. You know, by all accounts, I wasn't here, but 2010 maybe bulked up, felt like he needed to hit for some more power, lost a little bit of his speed and agility. Last year, we felt like we wanted to send him to the minors, get him back and playing every day. He was too young to be a utility guy. Got hurt. Came to spring this year, and Andy Perino beat him out. But to be fair, he played well and earned this opportunity.
This guy's going to bring some energy too. Two youngsters up the middle.
Yeah, they can run, and you know, already Marista, nice defensive play.
That was a nice play, thrown behind the runner there, heads up play. Reminded me of Robbie Alomar back when he was a youngster.
That did. He kind of patented that play.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have needed the rundown. He would have just. But he got an assistant to put out in the same play. That's good.
And Venable down on strikes. Josh, can you hang out for another half inning?
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. GM Josh Burns will stick around with us here. We'll head to the top of the fourth, 3-0 LA. Joined once again by General Manager Josh Burns here in the booth after a busy day for you today. And let's talk a little bit more about Eric Stoltz. I know you got him on waivers from the White Sox. He's pitched in the big leagues before, but what did you see about him that you liked?
Yeah, he's actually a former Dodger, Rocky, so some familiarity here. He's been in Japan and back, and our starters are really beat up. We were looking at it today. I mean, we've got 7-8 guys who have missed time or are currently on the DL, and Jeff Supon's done a great job, stepped in. Eric Stoltz, if needed, could do that. For now, it gives us a little more length in the bullpen. But I'll tell you, it's the middle of May, and we're worried about another injury too, just because it's to have 7-8 guys who've been down is a lot this time of year.
And I'll tell you what, Josh, and I know you know this, but you look at the schedule. I mean, the next off day isn't until the 31st of May.
Yeah.
In a tough road trip coming up to 3 cities.
Yeah, I mean it's been. We've had that too. I think we've had fewer off days than most. And I was talking to good friend John Daniels, GM of the Rangers, and aside from their record, he said, we've used 25 players this year. 25 players, and it's on the 3rd week of May. Amazing.
Yeah, Volquez gets a strike there. I mean, the old cliche is you need 30 or so guys to win yourself a championship, but I'll bet you never thought you'd have to dig 35. Down to the minors. To bring guys up at such a rapid pace this year.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Dr. Henneke today, and even at the end of March, we were pretty healthy.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of injuries, and they've come at once, and we're starting to get guys moving back in the right direction. Carlos Quentin, Logan Forsythe, Casey Kelly's back in the throwing program. Joe Whelan's feeling better; he'll throw tomorrow. But we need those guys.
Yeah. How far away would you say Carlos Quentin is, or is it tough to say?
It is tough to say. He got a cortisone injection. He feels better. I think he's getting very antsy. I would like to say at some point on this road trip, obviously he needs to go out and play a few more games on a rehab basis, but we're hoping it's soon.
And a base hit for Ellis to lead off the 4th.
Josh, we've seen it in the past, and we'll see it in the future, but it's not uncommon for players to make it from AA to the big leagues. And we focused a lot this spring training on players like Jed Jerko, Jeff Decker. How are those players getting along now?
They're doing okay. We actually, Jerko's first AAA games tonight. So we, with all these moves, we decided to bring him up to AAA. And he had a little bit of a slow start, but has swung the bat better in May. And then same thing with Jeff Decker. A lot of these guys, good March, bad April, better May. So it seems to be a theme. I would have happily exchanged April and March.
Volquez falling behind her. We talk about the injuries. The other move that was made today was Jason Bartlett going on the disabled list, and he just hasn't looked like he's been healthy much there. I know he's been fighting through that knee situation, and it was just probably time to give him a rest, right?
Yeah, it really, he missed a good chunk of spring training. We brought him to San Diego while we were in Arizona to take a closer look. Didn't feel like surgery was an option, but felt like we could treat it. He could play with it, and more than likely it's been a factor here. I don't think he's stolen a base yet this year, and defensively not moving like he normally does. So hopefully this time will help. And again, I think the state of things where they are, he knows that going on the DL now. If these guys play better, we're going to let them try to win a job.
So this is a legitimate shot for these guys to play well and stick.
Absolutely.
Let's see him in action here. They smartly don't make that extra throw to first. With Quinn speeding down the base pass, but Amarista to Cabrera, we can probably get used to saying that.
I hope so.
It was a good turn right there by Amarista. How would you grade his arm, Josh?
Probably a little below average. He's played some short. He's actually played all over the field. Second base has certainly been his primary position. I think with any player, you're always trying to find shortstops. In my history, I've been part of drafting guys like Clint Barnes and Jed Lowry, and at the time, no one thought they were shortstops. And I think you always want to see if that's possible. So we have played him at short, as did the Angels, but the evaluation as the arm's probably not ideal.
Versatility comes into play too for Amarista. He could play 6 different positions.
Yeah, and, I think that only helps in the National League roster. It only helps with our type of club. Hopefully guys like Jerko and Forsyth and Spangenberg and those types are coming up. So we can be our best club on the field and best offensive club.
I'll be quite honest with you guys. When I was in the clubhouse before the game, I saw this kid in a Padre jersey and pants walking towards me from the equipment room. I thought he was a bat boy. You know, I thought he was going to put towels out on the bench or something.
You know, it's funny. Like, I mean, it's first impression. I remember seeing, you know, I mean, I saw him in college, but like David Eckstein in A-ball, and then you kind of, you know, on the field with other guys, he just doesn't look the part until it's time to play. And a lot of our scouts, we've scouted him heavily. You know, it's noted. He's smaller for what we see on a big league field, but he can play, and we're anxious to see him do it up here.
So tough day for you, obviously, with Orlando, but yet you kind of look forward to here now, and you see the future coming up right here before your eyes, and the organization has the depth now for you to be able to make these kind of moves.
Yeah, I mean, we having Amarista helped us make this decision. Forsyth getting back, Jerko acclimating in the second, because, you know, I think we always try to have as much depth as we can, but this year it just seems like, you know, if we make a move and expose ourselves, you know, before we know we don't have enough depth. So I think we're probably overly careful at this point.
Well, Josh, we certainly appreciate you coming by and giving us your thoughts and letting us know what's going on with everybody. And hopefully these two guys will work wonders for you here in the near future.
I hope so. I mean, it's fun to watch young guys get a chance. I think they're both excited, and you know, that's what we're hoping for. I mean, we've got, you know, the young players so far this year: Yonder Alonso, you know, Anthony Bass, some young guys, Joe Whelan, have got an opportunity, have done either well or very well, and you know, that's what we need. We obviously need more players, and we need more coming from our own system.
Sounds good. We'll keep an eye on these guys. Look forward to watching them play.
Josh, we know you're a busy man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, good luck.
Appreciate it, Josh. Thanks for stopping by. And Volquez trying to work out of it here as Harang strikes out, trying to bunt. And with 2 away, it's a 3-0 lead for the Dodgers, as D. Gordon will take and get behind, 0-1.
I don't know if I want to be a GM.
Yeah, me neither. Those are tough calls. I mean, that's got to be one of the worst parts about a job.
Yeah.
Because they have to tell somebody that, sorry, we're letting you go. Good change up there by Volquez. But tough decisions have to be made on a big league roster from time to time.
Only 25 spots, right?
Absolutely right. Got out in front. Did Gordon. As you mentioned, and as Buddy Black always talks to us about, it's a performance-based game, and if a player's not performing, you have to look at making a change. And there deals with it every day, managing the ball club, figuring out who's in the lineup and who's not.
Look out.
Well, it's almost got the deflection in his leg. He was well aware and avoided disaster right there. Lob throw to first. But you mentioned it to me when we were in the clubhouse today about Amarista. Just kind of a little bit of a swagger for
yes, he does.
A young guy. And I agreed with you completely. Pitch inside and in the dirt. Gwynn was on the move, and he'll take second base. And it was called a swing and strike, so it is inconsequential. As the home plate umpire, Ted Barrett, will ring up Gordon as Baker applies the tag. So the Dodgers do not score. We go to the bottom of the fourth. And Cameron Maben will be the first man to face Aaron Harang. Maben flying to center, his only time to the plate so far tonight.
All right, second time around. Time to make some noise.
I agree with you.
And the second time around, Aaron Harang starts off Maben with a breaky ball for a strike. He gets locked in with that slider down in the zone. It's a nasty pitch for Harang.
And now 0-2. Mark Sweeney down on the field for us. And Sweeney, what are you seeing from Harang?
Well, he's getting ahead, and much like Mark said, he's getting ahead with the breaking ball and also the fastball down the zone.
Ooh, we got crossed up there, it looks like.
When you see a tall pitcher out there like that, you can't help it. Padre fans will think about Chris Young and just the way that ball just kind of rides up, and it doesn't look like it's got a lot on it. But Sweeney, that's a tough pitch to handle, isn't it?
It is, Andy. It's just a different angle, and coming from that angle that Harang has, it just feels uncomfortable, especially when you go back to his last start up in L.A. against San Diego. He pitched up in the zone. He understands how to pitch on the corners, but obviously he knows how to pitch up in the zone as well with that fastball.
Full count.
Well, you talk about getting ahead, Mark Sweeney. Aaron Harang has had 6 0-2 counts tonight.
Makes it very difficult, guys, as you know.
He might go up the ladder here. Oh, slider.
Strikeout number 4 for Aaron Harang.
Look at the tilt on this slider. That's straight down. It's not one of those sweepers. And Cameron Maben's front side really exposed, opening up there. Swinging over the top of that slider.
So here's Headley. First strikeout victim tonight. Another slider.
Looks like he's got good rotation on that pitch, too. Hard to recognize.
In the air to right. And a catch made there by Ethier. 2 away. Well, this Sunday, the Padres will take on the Angels at 1:05. Get to the ballpark early. Enjoy a special pregame ceremony as part of Padres Salute to the Military Child, presented by Tri-West. Don't wait. Get those tickets right now, Padres.com or 619-795-5555.
I love that big SD with the brown shirt.
Yeah, it's a good
And
look.
the yellow SD.
Here's Alonso for the second time. Only one hit against Harang. That was a 2-out double by John Baker in the second.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Okay.
You know what I'm going to campaign for?
What are you going to campaign for?
Bring back the white spikes. Love the white spikes. With that uniform. I thought that was such a... It's unique.
Mm-hmm.
You turn on the tube, there's no second guessing who's playing.
Very true.
You're cruising the, channels. Hey, the Padres are playing.
And you know it.
Believe it.
And Gordon will take care of Alonso. Second time he's done that. In order to go to the Padres in the fourth, 3-0 LA. Baseball brought to you by Sequan Casino. Get away for the day at the all-new Sequan Casino, San Diego's destination for casino gaming and excitement. By Chase. Deposit checks from your smartphone with Chase Quick Deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer. It is 3-0 Dodgers on a beautiful night for baseball here in San Diego, California. Oh, the kids are just loving their time here. They don't even care. It's a 3-0 game. They're just having fun in the sand. Good to see them out of the ball game.
Yeah, a shovel and a sandbox, and life is good.
That's all you need. So here's Mark Ellis. Single and a strikeout. Volquez gets ahead.
And it looks like Volquez getting a good feel for that changeup. Well, that's a pitch he will throw at any time.
Curveball just fouled off. Missing upstairs. Pitch count starting to really get up there. We're only in the 5th inning, and that was number 74.
Fastball away.
.94 miles an hour. There you see the pitch count. Double digits in every inning. What is it? The average is about 13, which is about.
Yes, if you want to be economical and have a good inning, I would say anything around 12, 13.
Popped him up. And it'll be Maben to make the catch for out number 1. Well, again, the changeup has been the weapon.
And he seems to be getting more and more comfortable as the game goes on. The hitters, you can see, especially lefties, he's got that action working down and away. Even when he misses inside, because he takes a little off that pitch, it's the arm action. Doesn't have the velocity of the fastball, and the hitters are way out in front. We talked about it in the pregame show.
This is the second time tonight that Volquez has not allowed the leadoff man on.
Well, Mark Sweeney from the left side, when he faced right-handed pitchers. Mark, the changeup and the split finger, probably the toughest pitches.
Yeah, I'd say definitely the changeup for me, especially because of the arm speed. And if somebody lets off on that arm speed, and it looked like Volke does that occasionally, you take that pitch because you see a different arm speed with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. He'll also drop the elbow and kind of work underneath it a little bit. And good hitters like Mark Sweeney will pick up on that. And I'll tell you what there, Haas, you still got that swing working, my friend. I'm serious.
Man, you're too nice.
No, you got a pretty swing.
I was more impressed with the pipes. Still got those big guns, the arms. You're
Guys,
in good shape.
You got to remember, I'm in this position right now because I played my way out of it. That's what happened.
That shirt was actually a double XL, and he was still filling it out, working the pipes.
I asked Brian Perlman to make sure he gets another shirt for me.
Oh, you'll get a bill for it.
Oh, yes.
Check out Mark Sweeney in action.
You guys listen to that sonic boom.
Great sound.
Let me know. It's going to take a while to get a rhythm going.
No, I just want you to do it first. That's perfect.
All right. It's good sound, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the cage. Gives good sound off the bat.
So Volquez will step off. It's also, we've been talking about Volquez. Yeah, he's scuffling through, but he's still keeping his team in this game.
Yeah, and that's the key, Andy.
That ball hugged the line and is fair into the corner. Abreu digs for second, and we'll get the stop sign right there. So a triple and a double, and 3 trips to the plate here for Bobby Abreu.
Now that was a changeup as well out of the hand of Edson Volquez. Righty on lefty. It's down and in. Now if that pitch is down and away, it's probably a weak ground ball to the right side, just out of the reach of Alonso, diving at first base. Just didn't take enough off that one for Abreu to really swing over the top of it.
And now again, Volquez will try to limit damage and pitch his way out of this.
Mark Sweeney, would the changeup inside be better to adjust to, or easier to adjust to, I should say, rather than the changeup down and away?
It is easier, and obviously a lot of lefties like that down and in pitch. So that's an easier adjustment to make, Mark, as well.
Yeah, the bat head doesn't have to travel as far, right?
It doesn't, and you know what? When you look at Bobby Abreu, why he's been so successful is he looks out over the plate and he gets on mistakes, and he can usually use that. He doesn't get too fast with his swing. He controls his head, and he just drops the head of the barrel of the bat right on the ball.
Hit well to center. That'll send Maven back. Reaching up, it tips off his glove, and he hits the deck. Abreu is going to score easily, and it's a 4-0 lead for the Dodgers. Ethier pulls up at second.
And I think that's a very catchable ball for Cameron Maven. We'll take another look. Change up down and away. Drives it that way. Very catchable. That's got to be an error.
And it will be.
Just before he hit the warning track.
So Ethier now at second. And the batter, Adam Kennedy. Starting to get some good swings here. And Mark Sweeney's a hitter too now. I mean, you look at that pitch count, and it may not tell the whole story, but Buddy Black always tells us that 84 pitches, always pitching out of the stretch and being in stressful situations is so much different than 84 pitches free and easy.
Well, it's also mentally as well, and Mark can probably say that, but you can see Edson Volquez is taking his time in between pitches and making sure he's under breath.
Yeah, that's a good point, because as a pitcher, think about it. Let's say you throw 30 pitches, but you go 3 innings. You've got to blow in between those pitches. If you throw 30 pitches in 1 inning, that's a workout. And you're going to be stressing. And those legs are going to get heavy. And you're going to work underneath some baseballs. And you're going to be hanging some pitches.
Guys, we talk about the offense as well. I mean, they have to do their part to get hits and extend those innings. So you would definitely give your starting pitchers a breather as well. It goes both ways. It's a total team effort. And that's the reason why when we talk about the offense, not and struggling like that, just giving your starting pitcher a blow.
And he got it. Goes to the curve. 6 strikeouts. And Volquez.
Goes right down the middle. Kennedy, by his body language, was looking for something else. Got to go.
GTG, as we learned earlier. And activity now in the Padres bullpen. Brad Brock is up. And this is James Loney taking ball 1. Nothing Dodgers in the 5th. That ball is smacked into right center. Will bang up against the wall. Ethier is going to score, and Loney into second with a double. Now it is 5-0.
that ball was struck extremely well. And when you look on contact, right down the center of the plate, no movement, and Loney was all over it. Hit so hard that Venable couldn't even cut it off before it goes all the way to the right center field wall.
Ninth double for Loney. And now Baker will run out and stall for a little time to get Brad Brock loose. Now, Mark Sweeney, you were talking about just giving your offense a chance to get out there and maybe get a rest for the pitcher. Harang has only faced one more than the minimum here tonight.
Yeah, he's actually controlled the game for that side. But obviously, when you get ahead like that, you can pitch ahead, and your confidence is skyrocketing up. Aaron Harang understands, because he's been a #1 pitcher before. He understands how to command the game and keep the pace going.
And he's commanding that slider as well and that fastball. And once he gets that down, he's going to take his team deep into the game.
So Volquez gets ahead here on A.J. Ellis. Double, error, double. And 2 runs in. Amarista will handle that one and throw out Ellis, and that's the inning. But 2 more runs are in against Edinson Volquez. 5-0 Dodgers. With their pour, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Look down in the downtown area here in San Diego, California.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice. Those lights are kind of timed. Everybody got the green light now. Let's hope this offense gets a little green light right here. And James Darnell will take a strike. I mentioned that Harang has worked to 1 more than the minimum, and the only hit was the 2-out double by Baker in the second. So Harang, who's struggled in his career against the San Diego Padres, his hometown team gets ahead.
He makes it look so easy, that free and easy fluid motion, just pelting that outside corner with that fastball, and Edinson Volquez can't get the feel.
Into right. And Ethier will make the grab, and that's out number 1. Let's head down to Leila Rahimi. I saw you have a jersey there that I think you should bring to the booth.
Hey, Andy, that's right. I have one of the jerseys from tomorrow night's alumni game. In fact, this is the alumni jersey of Broderick Perkins. You can check it out right here. This is the swinging Friar jersey, the famous 1978 swag that the team will be wearing as well. But such alumni like, of course, Dave Winfield, Randy Jones, and Mr. Perkins himself will be on hand for the pregame ceremonies tomorrow night. Just part of the retro night here at Petco Park. Guys, back to you.
Well, let's not be surprised if someone's missing a jersey, because I want you to sneak that one up here. I'd like to take that one home.
Isn't that a great-looking jersey?
I love that jersey. It's a sweet-looking jersey.
And I'll tell you what. Have you met Broderick Perkins?
I have not.
Great guy. Awesome. Love Perk.
Well, if he's such a good guy, maybe he'll give me his jersey.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'm done begging.
No, seriously, I love that jersey.
Baker tops that one. In the air to center. That is Tony Gwynn making the grab. 2 away. Well, you can follow Fox Sports San Diego's coverage of the Padres with MLB.com at Bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or head to Padres.com to get all the details. Again, a testimonial that app is unbelievably good.
It's great.
It's got everything you need.
I use it all the time on my phone.
So Everth Cabrera with his second at bat tonight.
See those? I think that's the fastball where you gotta spin on it and try to crush it.
We were talking to General Manager Josh Burns earlier about the Cabrera move and the Amarista move. And Cabrera in his last 10 games at Tucson was hitting .386. And he had stolen 15 bases without being thrown out. Means he's getting on base.
Yep.
Close pitch there, 2-2. There is Alexi Amarista on deck. It's going to be a tough play for Gordon, even if he had fielded it cleanly. Cabrera hustling out of the box and is safe at first base.
Well, a ball that was hit sharply. Harang hit his spot. I don't know whether D. Gordon could have gotten in front of that ball, but like you said, it would have been very close if he catches that cleanly.
They're going to rule that an error.
I think that was a makeable play for Gordon.
I thought so too. Kind of kicked off the heel. I think he may have rushed it with Cabrera running down the line. So just the second Padre base runner. And Cabrera will dive back on. So here's Amarista. Mark Sweeney, do you think he rushed that one a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, talking to the Dodger personnel, too, they're amazed at D. Gordon's ability to make spectacular plays. They want him to make those normal plays that he has an understanding. You have to make those plays up here.
Hot smash to third, and it eats up Kennedy. That'll be a single. And runners on at first and second, and we'll get a pinch hitter coming up to the plate in the pitcher spot, Jesus Guzman.
Like what we were talking about pregame, talking about Mark Sweeney and batting practice, getting the ball up, elevated away, and hitting the inside part of the baseball, hands through first, barrel of the bat, and a hot smash down to Kennedy.
You find out why they call it the hot corner.
Mark hitting it where it's pitched. That's always the nice thing, and that's what they want from Amarista.
So Guzman 5 for 8 as a pinch batter this year, and 5 runs batted in. And a big opportunity right here.
This is where you need a guy to run into one, huh? A little heroics. See if Harang consistently keeps the baseball away. Sliders down and away. Ooh, that was the pitch. Middle in, and that's a pitch Mark Sweeney, every hitter looks for. First pitch, middle in, fastball.
Yeah, guys, you also go back to that Washington series. They were hunting the fastball. Looks like they're getting away from that. You're seeing them get behind the count, like you said, Mark.
Close, but outside. And with the speed on the base paths right now and 2 away, a gapper is going to score both these guys easily. Or at least it should. Gordon flips, and in time. Padres get a couple of men on, but cannot score through 5. It's 5-0 Dodgers. The first inning, Bobby Abreu here with a triple that scored D. Gordon and stumbling and bumbling toward the plate there. Andre Ethier with a little flare, single to right that scored Abreu to make it 2-0 in the first. And then in the fifth, Andre Ethier hit a ball to center, ruled an error on Cameron Maben, allowed Abreu to score. And then Loney followed that with a double, and Ethier would come home. And after now, it's a 5-0 lead for the Dodgers. 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for LA. No runs on just 2 hits with 1 error for the San Diego Padres. And we have a new pitcher coming into the ball game as you look in from the Park at the Park here, a popular spot at Petco Park. Left-hander Alex Hinshaw take over.
It's been a while since Alex has been on the mound Sunday in Philadelphia. Pitched an inning, so in the limited time that Alex has been there out on the hill, tonight it's damage control. Try to keep the Los Angeles Dodgers at 5 and possibly a couple innings of work as well for the left-hander.
So Volquez departs after 5. 7 hits allowed, 5 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. Tony Gwynn will lead off. He's been on base twice. Keep mentioning Tony Gwynn as a former Padre, 2009 through the 2010 season. Since he's left, before tonight's game, he had 15 base hits against the Padres and hit .283. He usually saves his best for his hometown team. Hinshaw missing on 2 straight. There's a strike. During that magical 2010 season, Tony Gwynn actually hit 2 inside the park home runs here in this ballpark. He has that kind of speed.
A couple of Aztecs. Hinshaw and Gwynn.
Yeah.
You got Buddy Black. Hey, our director, Michael Odino, in Aztec.
I didn't know that.
Representing in the truck.
They're everywhere.
They'll let anybody go to that school.
I'll be surprised if Mud's mic is cut off for the rest of the night. Just got a piece of that.
A lot of people would probably enjoy that.
I wouldn't. Matt Kemp enjoying a 5-run lead for his ball club, even though he can't play. They did say yesterday that the Dodgers, that is, expected him to be eligible right when he is ready to come off the DL on the 29th.
Yeah, you want to get that taken care of.
Absolutely. The way he plays, they were just afraid he'd blow it out. And then you're talking weeks rather than just 2. Weeks turn into months at that point.
And you know what? We talked about this before the game, Andy. You and I, the Dodgers have played so well out of the chute, 24-13 going in tonight, to where when you lose a player like Kemp, obviously you want to try to win every night, but even if they hit a little bit of a skid, they're 6 games up in the West.
Biggest lead among any team in baseball against the second-place team. And there's one into the gap in left center. Darnell charging, dives, and cannot make the play. It tipped off his glove. Heading to second is Gwynn, and he's in there. And it looks like Darnell is hurt. It looks like that same shoulder that hurt him last year, he is down. Paul Navarro, the assistant trainer, heading out into left field. And it's just been one injury after the next. You hope that's nothing serious. But the way he laid out, it reminded me so much of that play at third base last year that cost him his season. But that looks like maybe his wrist.
It looks like after he dives, rolls, does he go to his wrist? Kind of holds his right there. I don't know whether he's cradling his hand to take care of his shoulder so his shoulder doesn't move.
Yeah, you hate to see that. He made that spectacular play yesterday to basically save the game and was inches away from taking a double away from Tony Gwynn.
I think it's his shoulder, his left shoulder.
That's the one that popped out last year on that diving attempt at third base. They'll work very, very carefully on that, of course, try to get him up. A very concerned Buddy Black looking on.
Yeah, you can see Paul Navarro trying to manipulate that left shoulder.
And they'll sit him up.
You know, I've never separated a shoulder, but they say, after talking to Phil Nevin, who did it as a Padre in spring training, excruciating pain.
We'll stand him up, and he's not really using that left wing too much. So it's likely that Denorfia would be the guy to go in, since Guzman has already been used as a pinch hitter. As they'll walk him off the field slowly. And there goes Denorfia out to left. Well, you hope it's nothing serious.
Right.
But of course, we'll wait for a full report from the clubhouse, which hopefully we'll get before this game is over.
And Chris Denorfia, as James Darnell is escorted off the field, he'll take a few tosses with Justin Hatcher, it looks like, in that bullpen, trying to get that wing loose.
I just can't help but think about what Josh Burns was talking about before the game today.
It's unbelievable.
We're talking about depth, and he mentioned almost specifically that you bring somebody up and the depth is compromised because somebody gets hurt.
It's exactly what he said. And it's so ironic. And once again, we don't know the severity of James Darnell injury. The move that they made today, and then all of a sudden, James Darnell is being helped off the field because of an injury.
So again, we'll wait for a full report. Take you around the majors here. Tell you what else happened around Major League Baseball today. Albert Pujols, 1 for 4, a solo homer. He has 3 in his last 11 games. Angels do lose to the White Sox 6-1. Pujols heating up just in time for this series. Justin Upton, 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer. 9th inning. Diamondbacks win at Colorado 9-7. And Brandon Beachy, first career shutout. 6 strikeouts in 9 innings. 7-0 win for the Braves over the Miami Marlins. So a few of the news and notes items from around Major League Baseball for you. As Aaron Harang will come to the plate. Already showing bunt. The old saying is, you never ask what else can happen, because generally you tend to find out. So again, we'll hope that that injury to Darnell is not serious. In on the corners, with Gwynn at second. Doesn't offer, and it's outside.
And once again, Harang trying to bunt down the third base line with that runner on second. Tried to draw on Chase Headley, so there's no play at third. Unlike the other time, it was a forced play. Now, if they elect to go to third base, Chase Headley goes back to the bag. It'd have to be a pretty darn good throw in order to place a tag on Tony Gwynn if he were to go into third base.
Again, drawn in on the corners, and a strike throw this time, 2-1. Wynn's uniform needs some laundering. He definitely lets you show he's played a game. Popped up. Baker back, but won't have a play.
See, Harang wants to bunt it here, so Headley comes here, and Tony Gwynn there. So if Hinshaw gets the bunt and is aggressive this way, Headley can go back to the bag and possibly apply the tag to get Gwynn if he tries to advance.
Harang struck out last time trying to bunt up 2 strikes, and he'll do so again. 1 out and the 6th. Time now for our AT&T trivia question. You're on the edge of your seat, I know. You want to know what the question is. We want to know what the question is as well. And here it comes for you. Again, brought to you by AT&T. Against which Met pitcher did the Padres hit 4 home runs in the same inning on this date in 2001? Think about it. The answer coming up. Bud is studying the screen and is really, really thinking. He's in deep thought right now.
May 17th.
2001. The wheels are spinning. I can smell the smoke from right here.
Boy, I'm flummoxed.
You take something for that?
I should know that too.
Yeah, you probably should. Easy for me to say.
I got it.
His
And
hands
I'm
are
not
up in the air.
going to say anything.
It's in victory formation. That guy, a small victory right there with a nice souvenir to take home.
It's Gaylord Perry. He was a Padre.
There goes Gwynn. And a swing and a foul. Tony had a nice jump.
Maybe Hinshaw one look from Tony Gwynn. I love the way Tony Gwynn wears that uniform. He's got the baggy breeches. He's got the old school stirrups, showing a little bit of sock, white sock underneath. That is a great look. And here's the jump. Hinshaw one looked him. Just as I said. Got the sign, looked at the runner. Let's see if he double looks here. Oh, no look at all.
That was close.
Love that look. That's awesome.
There were some guys that didn't like the stirrup look, itself, and they would wear those socks with a little stripe that went up the side to kind of simulate the stirrup, but
bad look.
Not good at all. If you're going to do it, that's the way to go. And they'll throw behind, and a good stop right there by Cabrera.
He fired a seed to second base.
It's pretty hard fastball he threw there.
Daylight play. We talked about that instructional earlier in the year where the shortstop creeps behind the runner and flashes that glove. As soon as that glove is flashed, the pitcher spins and throws. And remember, you don't have to throw the ball to second base.
Long look back. And they'll test Tenorfia right away. He'll make the catch. And that's out number 2. Well, this week, America's pastime moves to primetime for Baseball Night in America. We bring you 8 straight weeks of baseball's best. And it all starts with an interleague matchup between regional rivals as the Red Sox will take on the Phillies or the Orioles battle the Nationals. Baseball Night in America, presented by Chevrolet, begins Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Please check your local listings for the game in your area. It's Baseball Night in San Diego right now. Padres need to get out of this inning and then get those hitting shoes on again.
Looks like Alex Hinshaw has found a little bit of a groove, working ahead here to Mark Ellis. He's got to leave that runner, Tony Gwynn, at second base stranded. No more points for the Dodgers.
They're done with points. And a broken bat for the cause.
It's amazing what a baseball can do, huh?
I know. Everybody just wants to look at it. They've seen it 100 times. Good life on that fastball from Hinshaw.
93 on the fastball.
It's one of the attractions of that arm, especially from the left side. Lefty they can throw hard, usually finds a job. Great block there by Baker. That is a great look, isn't it? One Aztec looking out at the other Aztec at second base, hoping that his Aztec can retire Mark Ellis. It's gone full.
Kind of all over the place. When you look at the Fox tracks, got to harness that 93, 94 mile an hour fastball and try to hit those corners. You see the pitch count for Alex, 22.
The fastball at 93. Aaron Harang, as we were talking about with Mark Sweeney earlier, getting a nice long rest on the bench. Obviously, the injury situation there to James Darnell complicated that, but Padres pitchers have not had that luxury. Andy Mazer here for Dick Enberg tonight. Mark Grant, Mark Sweeney, Leila Rahimi alongside. Glad to have you with us here tonight from Petco Park in San Diego. And he gets him looking. Slider rings him up. And the inning has come to an end. So nice job by Hinshaw to get out of trouble there, stranding Tony Gwynn at second base. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Dodgers 5, Padres nothing. D right behind home plate where Will Venable is standing right now against Aaron Harang, and he'll take a strike. Venable at the top is 0 for 2. There's a lot of 0-fers in this game tonight. The Padres have just 2 hits. Aaron Harang has been in charge. But Venable has been hot of late. 500 his last 8 games. Swing and a miss.
Well, there's that 86-mile-an-hour fastball, just outer third, little bit of movement, cannot square it up.
Popped up. And it'll be Kennedy to make the catch for the first out. Well, let's answer our AT&T trivia question. Against which bet pitcher did the Padres hit 4 home runs in the same inning on this date in 2001? And the answer is Steve Traxel.
And that inning took an hour and a half.
And that was before the home runs.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm kidding, because Steve Traxel was a very slow worker.
Slow is being unkind to slow. He said that the reason that he was that slow to the plate. Now, you, a former big league pitcher, tell me if he's telling the truth or he's just slow. He said he would visualize each pitch. He would get the ball back from the catcher. He would stand on the mound. He would look in to the batter, and he would visualize where that pitch was going to go. And it took an hour.
You know what? I know everybody's different. I can't speak for Steve, but since if you actually heard that explanation from him,
yeah.
I have to believe him. But for me personally, take about 2 seconds to visualize where the pitch is going to go. Hey, you know what? Steve Traxel had a good career.
He did.
He had a good long career, and if it worked for him, hey.
Different ways of getting guys out. One of them is lulling them to sleep and then
good
throwing
point.
a fastball by.
Hey, good point.
Get that hitter very antsy. That time Call the swing. Let's take a look.
What do you think?
I say no.
No?
But I've been wrong before.
Well, Buddy doesn't like to call.
Marvin Hudson, the first base umpire, getting a little stare down there from the first base dugout. So here's Headley. And there's a strike. Time now for the San Diego County Credit Union factoid of the game. Right after this pitch. Chase Headley, after 38 games, you see what he's doing as far as his slugging percentage between last year and this year. 438 this year, 347 last year. Not that 347 is bad, but when you're in the number 3 spot in the order, you want to see those numbers up.
Absolutely. You want to see the RBIs, you want to see the extra base hits, you want to see the home runs.
Full count. And Headley knew it coming into the year. He said, I gotta get better at this. I have to be a run producer. I have to be the guy to drive in runs and get on base. Trying to check, and that ball hit the knob of the bat. So foul ball. Buddy Black has used Chase in that number 3 spot pretty much exclusively. He's only been one game without him in the number 3 spot. That was the game he didn't start.
Slider down and in.
In the air to left, and that'll fall for a base hit. Opposite field, 2-out single by Chase Headley. That'll bring Yonder Alonso to the plate.
That's why it's so important for a pitcher to hit a spot. We talked about locating the fastball. He wanted that down and in. See A.J. Ellis? He had to reach across the plate. It was left outer half and elevated, and Chase Headley hit that ball exactly where it was pitched.
So Harang creeping up towards 100 pitches. No activity in the Dodgers bullpen to this point. Alonso skies one to left. It's going to send Abreu back, but he'll stop shy of the warning track and make the catch. And the Padres are done here in the 6th. We've played 6. Dodgers 5. Padres nothing.
Ball left to be played. We'll hope our Padres can come back, but against Aaron Harang right now, it has been very tough.
Well, they got ahead, obviously, by the Padres, but Aaron Harang has mixed up his pitches, and they're taking a lot of fastballs, the Padre hitters are.
He's the former Padre, Harang is, and apparently having his way with us right now, but Couple innings left. Coming up in the post-game show, we're going to see what Aaron Harang is doing so well. That's just befuddling these Padres hitters. Also in the post-game, an instructional from Mark Sweeney, Mark Grant, talking about how to work in batting practice to make sure that your game excels when that first pitch is thrown in the regular game. And you're going to hear from the manager, Buddy Black. Plus, we're going to talk about a double debut today. Alexi Amarista and Everett Cabrera with the club. See you in the post-game show, gentlemen.
All right, we'll look forward to it, guys. Thank you. Alex Hinshaw will continue on the mound here in the 7th. You know, about that instructional, watching it during the pregame show, I love the fact that there's guys in this league that go to batting practice with a plan. You want to work on something. You want to do something you're going to do in the game.
Sure.
And I always talk about the one guy that I saw that I was so impressed with. We were at Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, I think it was 2008, and I was standing behind the batting cage watching Derek Jeter take batting practice, and it was just unbelievable. He hit every pitch in the first round to right field.
And that's his game.
Absolutely. Because he knows what he's practicing for.
And also in that yard at Yankee Stadium, the ball flies out to right and right center field. He knows he doesn't have to pull the ball to hit a ball out of the yard.
Of course not. Second round, all to center. Third round, all to left. Last round, all over.
Where it's pitched, right?
Wherever it was. And it was just, I would rather, me as a fan, I would rather stand behind a batting cage and watch that than watch guys beating balls out of the ballpark.
I would too.
It was impressive. So a good lesson for our youngsters coming up on the postgame show. Abreu bailed out on that swing a little bit and fouled it out of play. But Abreu, one of those guys that is paying dividends for his new ball club after being released by another. Brandon Inge, who unfortunately went on the disabled list today for the A's, has certainly contributed to their ball club after being released by the Tigers. Got him looking. Oh, he was bailing out. Third strikeout for Hinshaw. One away in the 7th. Then Andre Ethier will come up.
That was a breaking ball that straightened him up, but framed by John Baker on the inside corner. And then in this day of texting, GTG. Gotta go.
So here's Ethier. He's been involved in a couple of runs tonight. Drove in one. RBI single in the first. And his shot out to left center was dropped by Maben and allowed a run to score. Two pitches outside. So interleague begins tomorrow.
What do you think, interleague?
I'd like to see a couple of things changed. And it's going to all change next year. Bouncing ball back up the middle. It was flagged down, or at least knocked down partially by Cabrera, but that ball gets into center. And Ethier aboard with his second hit.
Well, that would have been interesting if Everett Cabrera comes up with that ball cleanly. Let's take a second look. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it looks like he almost overran it. The ball went in between his body and his glove. And we've seen Everett Cabrera when he was in the big leagues make that play. I'm not saying he should have made it. He could have made it.
So here's Kennedy. Pops the first pitch up. No play for Baker. As far as interleague, with the Astros moving to the American League next year, there'll be 15 teams in each league. And it'll cause basically interleague to be played almost every day, the way the schedule will break down. But I would have liked to have seen maybe experimenting with using the American League rules in the National League park so the National League fans that never get to see a DH would get to see a DH in their ballpark.
Not a bad point.
I think that would have been a pretty cool little wrinkle for it. A little more variety in the teams you played. But all in all, I think even the purists may agree that it's been good for the game, attendance-wise for sure.
It has been good for the game. And, you know, we're always think back to when you were a kid. I always liked the All-Star game being the one time, or the 2 times rather, of the American League playing the National League, and then of course in the World Series.
Right.
But it has been good for the game, no doubt.
Tough play there for Headley. He was playing off the line, and that ball just hugged the line. It'll be an infield single.
That's one of those hits where you just shake your head because you can see Chase is playing way off the bag because that's what the scouting report says when he is pitched that being Kennedy a certain way.
So they'll gather on the mound with Kennedy at first and Ethier at second base. Buddy Black chewing on those seeds. A little frustrated tonight with the offensive output or lack thereof right now, with Aaron Harang give him most of the credit. He's pitched a nice game. But you want to keep it manageable.
You know, I thought that was a makeable play. It wasn't hit that hard, but, you know, Chase was playing way off the line.
So now Hinshaw needs a ground ball. Just challenging right there with a fastball right down the middle. Let's head down to check in with Layla Rahimi, who's an update on James Darnell.
Yeah, guys, we just got the word from the staff, and they said it's a left shoulder subluxation for James Darnell, and they're going to reevaluate tomorrow.
Thank you, Layla. If I remember correctly, that was the injury from last year, too. So subluxation, a medical term basically for a separated shoulder. Well, it just keeps on happening. One and two now on Loney. Darnell trying to make a diving effort on a double by Tony Gwynn in the sixth. That's when it happened. And you could tell right away that he was in a lot of pain. Late swing. But everybody's dealing with injuries, and it's just how you overcome it. You have to have people step up. You have to have guys come up and
it creates opportunity.
Yeah, carry the weight a little bit. Nobody in the league feels sorry for it. So you can't feel sorry for yourself. Not that they are, of course. But that's just at least the mindset. Totally fooled on that pitch, and Loney down on strikes. Well, Friday on Fox Sports San Diego, catch a new episode of Padres POV. Join Kerry Chow as he gets you inside Padres personalities, both on and off the field. Padres POV, Friday at 5:30 on Fox Sports San Diego, presented by Sequan Casino. Saw Kerry at the ballpark today.
Yeah, he was in the dugout before the game, rubbing elbows with the players and members of the press. The man about town.
Yes,
Kerry
indeed.
Chow.
That's the way to do it, right? Get yourself a nice little gig there. You get to go to different places with these guys and get to learn a little bit about what makes these guys tick. So now 2 outs with Ellis at the plate. First and second for the Dodgers, who lead this by a score of 5-0. Long look back at second. Gets the call on the corner. So the left shoulder subluxation or separation for Darnell. We'll probably find out more about that on the post-game show tonight. Make sure you stick around for Padres Live, the post-game show. Mike Pomerantz, Mark Sweeney. All the details on that. Base hit to right. Charging it is Venable. Coming up, throwing toward the plate. There's going to be a play. Throw up the line, and Ethier will slide in safely. 6-0 Dodgers.
Nice, easy swing by Ellis. He got a fastball and just stayed on it. Kind of inside out of that pitch to right field. Ethier avoiding the tag, sliding towards the outside, and clearly hitting home plate for the 6th run.
Ethier getting the high fives in the dugout. Single for Ellis. He took second on the throw.
Looking at that swing as they intentionally passed Tony Gwynn Jr. We hear Mark Sweeney talking about that quite a bit, about slowing the game down, right? Slowing the game down and just taking a nice easy swing on that fastball and taking it the opposite way.
And Harang will bat for himself. And why not?
Whoa.
Whoa, indeed. So there's ball 4. As Brad Brock is up once again in the Padres bullpen. And Harang will bat. Sacrifice in the second and a couple of strikeouts.
You know, interesting thing here with the bases loaded, you've got the pitcher coming up. He just got throwing 4 wide ones. He's got to get dialed in, get ahead of Aaron Harang. Go right after him.
Nice job here by Hinshaw, eating up some innings here, saving the bullpen. As well, you pointed out earlier when Josh Burns was here, there's not a lot of off days. One, as a matter of fact, between now and the end of the month. And it comes at the end of the month. Harang is hacking and fouling it away. Aaron did some great work here in San Diego and helping out military families. Aaron's Aces, he and his wife, donating tickets to military families while he was a member of the Padres. Great pick right there by Baker.
How about that feeling as a catcher? You're set up on one side of the plate. Pitcher yanks a pitch and bounces it, and you've got to do everything in your control to smother it.
And he did it. So he keeps the bases loaded. Hinshaw throws it wide and a run is in. Swing and bunt. 7-0 Dodgers. Well, when it's your night, huh?
The one cliche I was thinking about was when it rains, it pours. My goodness. Make a good pitch like that, topped. Just one of those nights.
So Buddy Black with a visit to the mound. Brock has been loosening. And we'll have a new pitcher coming in. 7-0 Dodgers here in the 7th. to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Men in Black 3 in theaters May 25th. New pitcher Brad Brock as the kids continue to build those beautiful sandcastles out there beyond the right center field wall in the area affectionately known as the beach here at Petco Park. And right now, Brad Brock will come on and try to keep this in order here. It's already a 7-0 lead for the Dodgers. They have the bases loaded.
The last time out for Brad Brock, like Alex Hinshaw, was Sunday, and it was in Philadelphia. An inning of work, 1 hit, no runs. He walked a couple of Phillies, struck out 2. Pretty nice numbers in the limited time. The walks, though, way too high. 11 in 10 and a third innings of work.
So here is Gordon. He's the 8th man to bat in this 7th inning. Way out in front. Well, Brock has done a nice job, as you see the bases loaded there for the Dodgers, since he came back to the big leagues on May 4th. 6 innings and 10 strikeouts. He struck out 8 of the last 11 batters he's faced. And ahead, no balls and 2 strikes here on Gordon. Brock had a ton of family with him in Philadelphia. Short drive from his home in New Jersey.
I think that changeup that he just threw there is going to be an effective pitch for the big right-hander. Talked about Andrew Kastner throwing a changeup as well. You know, throwing 102 and throwing a 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
Good luck, right?
Sure.
I enjoyed your interview during the pregame show with Cash.
Thank you.
Popped him up. And Cabrera will make the catch. And the inning has come to an end. A couple more runs, though, for the Dodgers, who lead at 7-0 going to the bottom of the 7th. Aaron Harang, who has been doing it in a big way on the mound. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts against his former mates.
Getting ahead and hitting his spots with both his fastball and his slider. The great tilt on the slider. He's making it look easy. Doesn't have to throw hard, exert a lot of energy. He's topping out about, 89?
89. I think he hit 90 once. But yeah, right in that range.
He's living around 88, 89.
Scott Van Slyke taking over in left field. Bobby Abreu's night is done. Well, I was looking through the game notes here, and while Harang won 14 games for the Padres last year, he has not beaten the Padres since July of 2005. So here's Denorfia. Go back for the first time with a spot previously occupied by James Darnell, who left the game with that separated left shoulder that Layla told you about. I was asking some folks from our media relations staff about the injury from last year with Darnell. It was officially called a strained left shoulder last year, but it did require surgery to what they call stabilize the shoulder.
Kind of like tighten it up.
Kind of similar to what Dustin Mosley had last year on the shoulder. But fairly similar, and we'll wait, of course, to hear from Buddy Black about the reports from medical staff on the postgame show. 3-1 on Denorfia. That was pitch number 100, as you see right there, from Aaron Harang. Ethier will make that grab for out number 1. Well, on this night in Major League Baseball history, they called him Tommy Terrific, and they called him that for a reason. Tom Seaver struck out 10 consecutive Padres April 22nd, 1970. 19 strikeouts total for the game. His next start against the Padres was May 1st of 1970, and he struck out 10. So 29 strikeouts in a matter of 2 starts. Hall of Famer Tom Seaver.
One of my favorites to watch as a kid, Tom Seaver. The old drop and drive. Not too many pitchers can do that.
Nope.
A lot of pitchers tried to copy that delivery, and a lot of pitchers got hurt doing it.
That pitcher right there with a bat in his hand is doing some things that Tom Seaver did. A lot of strikeouts there for Clayton Kershaw. A Cy Young Award. Far too early to talk about Hall of Fame credentials, of course, but a nice start to his career. Overhand curve there and first strike. And I found it interesting yesterday when Padres were facing Chris Capuano. Capuano was 5-0. Ted Lilly was 5-0. Kershaw had the only loss among the lefties in their rotation.
That's why baseball's great, isn't it?
This is also why baseball is great. Bring the family out. It'll be a picture they'll look at and say, hey, remember that night we went to the Padres game? She'll be like, I was at a Padres game? That one hugged the line. A fair ball. Down in the corner for Baker. Extra bases. He's got a second double.
Good looking swing from Baker. Looked like he didn't even stride on that. Pitch inside, turns on it. Ball goes over the bag. John Baker has been swinging the bat extremely, using the whole field. Left center field, now down the right field line for his second double of the night.
So here's Cabrera. Good curve. Still has a good feel for it. Still hitting his spots.
Yes, he is. That was pitch 108 for Aaron Harang.
Just fouled on the line. Oh, that was inches from being an extra base hit and a run.
Hitting it where it was pitched. It was up and away. He takes it that way. Just foul.
Good shot there. Cabrera a little frustrated, thinking, I got my hit. Got a run in. An exciting player.
Yes, he is.
I'm sure Harang is saying, okay, where'd that one miss? Good eye there by Cabrera to take the close one. It was a good call. That would be pitch number 4 on our Fox track. Outside the strike zone, a little high as well. John Baker, the runner at second. He's been there twice today, but he hasn't moved any further.
Oh.
Called a strike. That was even further outside than the one that I was questioning.
Yes, it was. Wow. Got the bat taken right out of his hands.
So Amarista will come up. Reached on an infield single back in the 5th. Andy Perino has grabbed a bat. He is standing in the on-deck circle. He'll bat for the pitcher, Brad Brock, should the inning continue. There you see him. Another guy that should get some significant playing time now with Jason Bartlett on the disabled list. Buddy Black will, I'm sure, continue to use Perino. Talking a little ball with the veteran, Mark Kotze. Chase Headley, and there's Bartlett.
So this is what's so tough about this game of baseball. You trail 7-0. It's getting late in the game, but yet you cannot give away at bats as a hitter. You've got to go up there like it's tied at 0, trying to get that run in from second base.
Got jammed. Look at John Baker out there at second base. And over his last 3 starts, he is 7 for 11 and hitting a robust .636.
Stay hot.
2 for 3 tonight, 3 for 4 in Washington in the first game, and that second game it is, and 2 for 4 against the Phillies. Rolled slowly to short, and Gordon will throw on Amarista, and that's the inning. Once again, if John Baker double wasted as he's stranded at second. We played 7. By Miller Lite. Our Miller moment tonight is that crazy little rundown. Amarista starting it to Headley, to Baker, back to Headley, to Alonso, and finally to Amarista. Your garden variety 5-4-2-5-3-4 rundown, resulting in an out.
Yeah, and we've talked about that in our pregame instructionals out on the little field. The ideal situation would to have maybe 2-3 tosses at most But the bottom line, Andy, they got the out.
That's the truth. Joe Thatcher, new pitcher for the Padres, on for the 15th time.
Inning of work for Joe. So the third reliever used tonight by Bud Black. But Aaron Harang cruising.
And this is Mark Ellis. 1 hit and 4 tries today, 1 for 4 with that single in the second. Got good movement even on the fastball, doesn't it?
It's almost at times that Joe Thatcher looks like he's throwing uphill because of his arm angle.
Yeah.
And
jammed. A roller to first and taken there by Alonso, 1 away. I mentioned that there's no off days in the foreseeable future. You can see it here illustrated right in front of you. Dodgers out of here tonight. The Angels for 3. Then that 3-city road trip, 3 in St. Louis, 4 in New York, and then 3 in Chicago, and then that off day before the Diamondbacks come here on the 1st of June, and we'll play that weekend series here.
1 off day right there. The 31st of May.
Scott Van Slyke will bat for the first time. Heading over into that alley is Venable to make the catch for out number 2.
Well, if the last name sounds familiar, Scott Van Slyke, and you're a baseball fan, you're right. Son of former major leaguer Andy Van Slyke. Big kid. 6'5", 249. And his dad could hit.
Oh, yes, he could. He could play a little center field, too.
Yes, he could. He was on that Pittsburgh Pirate team with Bonds and Bonilla and King. Jeff King, that is. Chico leaned.
Oh, yeah. Spanky LaValliere.
Mike LaValliere.
Yeah. So this is Jerry Sands, who is batting here and popping foul and out on the first pitch that he saw. Batting for Andre Ethier. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Padres down by a touchdown. The 8th inning. Join your Padres on Saturday at the Market Creek Plaza Food for Less for Padres Caravana from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bring the family, enjoy a fun morning of food, music, Padres prizes. You can meet the Swinging Friar, the Pod Squad, and Jesus Guzman will be on hand. He'll be signing some autographs. This event is free and open to the public. Hope to see you there. So Jamie Wright is the new pitcher here for the Dodgers after 7 strong from Aaron Harang. First man he'll face is a pinch hitter, Andy Perino. Also some other changes. Scott Van Slyke was in left. He's now in right field. And the new left fielder is Jerry Sands. So Harang with 7 strong innings against his former club. There's a broken bat foul. Look where the barrel of that bat ended up. Nice catch.
That's a sweet looking jersey right there.
It is. Telling the tale of how that ball just found his glove. That bat exploded.
See, you know that gentleman that was wearing the Brooklyn jersey?
Yeah.
It's not that I have a problem, but see how it says Robinson on the back? They didn't have names on the back then, right?
I knew you were going with that, yeah.
Because
you're a stickler for the rules.
Being the baseball fan that I am,
yeah.
Of course I know I see Brooklyn, I see Dodgers, I see 42, I know Jackie Robinson. It's almost like when people walk around with a Derek Jeter jersey, home jersey, and it says Jeter number 2 on the back. No, you don't do that.
No, I agree with you.
The Yankees don't have their names on the back of their home uni. They don't have it on the back of their away unis. I mean that's great that he's honoring Jackie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Jackie Robinson. It's great. But if you're going to wear a Brooklyn jersey, wear it like it was back in the day.
Absolutely. My other question about that jersey is the front of that jersey. Now, the Dodgers have always had that red...
That TV numbers they call it?
On the front. I don't think his has the red TV numbers on the front. I mean, it's a minor thing, of course. He's shaking his head like, yeah, what's it matter? Yeah, thank you for turning. We appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
And I don't think I saw any TV numbers down there.
That's what I've always... When I was growing up as a kid, that number on the front, they call it a TV number.
Right.
I don't know.
Football, they have them on the shoulder pads.
Right.
Around the shoulders, where the shoulder pads are.
Sweet jersey.
It is a good-looking jersey. But it's historically inaccurate. Swing and a miss by Perino. 1 away.
And you know what else? If you wear the jersey without the name on the back, people will ask you, and they'll give them an education.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? It's one of the greatest Dodgers to ever wear a uniform. He wore number 42, and his name is Jackie Robinson.
Don't look, don't look. Don't look. He's probably texting going, Mark's probably picking on me for wearing Robinson on the back of my jersey.
No.
Probably texting the person that got him that jersey saying, look, you got it wrong. See? They didn't have names on the back of their jerseys back then. I'm with you. He's trying to stir the pot a little bit. Foul out of play there by Will Venable. I remember actually getting a gift of a jersey when I was growing up. And it had the wrong style of number on the back.
You were that picky?
And I got a little hot. I got to tell you, as a 7-year-old, I got a little hot.
What was the jersey?
You want to know who it was? It was actually a guy who was about 3 booths down to our left. It was Rick Monday when he was a member of the Cubs.
Really?
He wore number 7 as a Cub.
And it wasn't the right font?
It wasn't the right font. It was
a block.
It was
7.
a block 7, and the Cubs numbers were like the angled numbers. They weren't,
It was just a straight 7.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I got a little hot. So Venable down on strikes. Probably more than you needed to know, but I'll share it with you anyway. This MLB season on Fox Sports, proud to support Boys and Girls Club of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. So here is Maben. Pitch inside. Well, thinking back about that, the histrionics that I probably created when I was a 7-year-old back then, not really seeming like I appreciated the jersey. I probably should apologize to that person. Having a moment of reflection here in the middle of a game. That's right.
See, here's how particular Andy Mazer is.
Exactly.
This is the 7 that was on the back of the jersey.
That was not right.
Here's the style of the Cub number 7 that Rick Monday wore. It was just a plain 7. This 7 had this, and that's how particular this.
Okay. Everybody's got their thing, you know. That happened to be mine. Swing and a miss by Maven. And the Padres done in order here in the 8th. 7-0 Dodgers after 8. And the sights and sounds of a night here at the ballpark. Bill, Craig, and Robbie doing the thing there in the tape room for us. Appreciate that. As Miles Michaelis will come on in relief here for the Padres in the 9th.
Well, it's Johnny Holstaff tonight for the San Diego Padres. Everybody getting an inning of work, or a third of an inning. Hinshaw, inning and 2/3. Brock, third of an inning. Joe Thatcher, 1 inning. And Miles Michaelis getting the 9th. High ERA, high opponent's batting average, and the small sample size. 3 1/3 innings pitched for the right-hander. Chance to get an inning of work.
Late swing.
And he needs to, that's Miles Michaelis, he needs to button it up a little bit, right? Especially the last time out, a little wild. Needs to be a little bit more aggressive. He's going back to the prospect look with the haircut. He cut those locks of his.
Yes, he did.
Maybe to change it up a little bit.
Just missed. Well, maybe Michaelis cut the hair so that Buddy Black wouldn't recognize him, because the last time he was on the mound, Buddy had a very poignant message for him, and it was a situation where the pitching coach would normally come out, but Buddy had full head of steam out of that dugout and a lot of heated words.
Yes, he did.
Tough love. This is what it looked like here after Michaelis had that hair flowing out of the back of the cap.
Tightening it up.
Absolutely. John Baker has been all over the place tonight. A nice block right there. Just want you to know, I checked my my Twitter account here in between innings, and there are a lot of folks that are on our side with this jersey thing.
Really?
Absolutely. Hugging the line there, but it's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, wear it like they wore it back in the day.
Exactly.
Or how about this one, the Babe Ruth one, number 3, Yankees, in Ruth on the back. Come on.
For a while, they didn't have the number 3 on the back.
Right.
That was that Yankees team. I think that was the first one that ever had numbers on it. Knocked down there by Michaelis. And a high throw, and it gets by Alonso. Down to second goes Kennedy, and he'll stand. Michaelis got staggered by that ball coming back and threw it high, and it got by Alonso.
Let's take a look at the replay. One hopper kind of twisted up a little bit. Had plenty. It looks like he had plenty of time. He had plenty of time. Just worked underneath it, maybe pushed it a little bit. Wasn't aggressive with his throw. It's a play that has to be made.
And an error on Michaelis. And here is Loney. It's not about the stuff with Michaelis. I mean, that's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He was doing the job in the minors, but that just kind of goes to show you the big difference between pitching in Double-A and Triple-A and trying to get big league hitters out. It's a learning process. Dodgers might have been pretty good with runners in scoring position. 5 for 13, 385 clip tonight. Loney has one of those RBI. It's 3-0. Todd Coffey in the bullpen. He must really like pitching here at Petco because it's a real short run from that bullpen onto the mound.
Good point. Well, he likes to sprint when he takes the mound.
He needs to maybe switch to decaf.
Oh, I get it. You here all weekend?
As a matter of fact, no. Rolled up the middle. Fielded there behind the bag. And Cabrera will throw out Loney. Down to third goes Kennedy. Well, the Padres are celebrating their history with 3 great retro games this season. First retro night tomorrow night. Padres wear their brown and gold 78 jerseys against the Angels at 7:05. You can catch all 3 retro nights with the Padres Retro Night Mini Plan. Enjoy great savings, a Padres cap, a behind-the-scenes tour by purchasing a Padres Mini Plan. Get those tickets right now, Padres.com or 619-795-5555. Pitch outside to Ellis, who, by the way, has now reached base safely in 26 consecutive games. They're touting this guy for the All-Star game. It's hitting .333.
Yeah.
That's going to get a run in. Ellis will be thrown out. But Kennedy will score. It's now 8-0 LA.
You know, looking at the minor league numbers for Miles Michaelis, over the course of his short career, he's turned a pro in 2009. And the year where he threw the most innings was in 2010, 81 innings. He walked 15. In the short time he's been here, 3 1/3 before tonight, he's walked 7. Not the Miles Michaelis that we've known and heard about in the minor leagues. Uncharacteristic of him.
Gwynn will take a strike. Hugging the line, but that's going to be called foul. So Tony Gwynn will come on back, get that bat, and a 1-2 count will face him. Padres were trying tonight for their first 3-game winning streak. They've had several 2-game streaks. They've had 5 of those to be exact. The Dodgers were in danger of losing 3 in a row for the first time, but that, barring a big comeback in the 9th inning, doesn't look like it'll happen. But you never know. Mentioned that the Angels will be here starting tomorrow for a weekend series. Interleague 2012. Jared Weaver, he of the no-hitter, and a 5-1 record against Jeff Suppan tomorrow. Saturday's matchup, Dan Herron, Tim Stauffer, then Urban Santana and Anthony Bass on Sunday. Don't forget about Saturday. That's a 7:05 start as opposed to the original 5:35. 7:05 on Saturday. To the bottom of the 9th, 8-0 LA. Dodgers. Fox Sports Game Connect. It is the ultimate online experience for fans. Log on to take part in the most interactive forum during Padre games. Stats, trends, exclusive analysis, and live Twitter feeds. Plus, you can even share your thoughts with the game broadcast. Fox Sports Game Connect, now available on foxsportssandiego.com. Well, we talked about him, and Todd Coffey made that short run in from the right field bullpen.
The big pot, they call him. Big pot of coffee. Throws a heavy ball.
See if the Padres can get something brewing here.
Get something percolating.
Kick save to the shortstop. And Gordon will throw on to first, and the ball dropped by Loney. It rolls down the right field line, and Headley alertly will take second. Looked like Coffey was trying to channel his hitter Jonathan Quick there, the goaltender for the LA Kings. So error on Gordon.
I mean, look at this. Gordon has to redirect. And I'm wondering if that was a catchable ball for Loney. He had to go up towards the home plate side of the line. This will give us a good angle towards home plate. Oh, that's got to be an error on Loney, doesn't it?
I think that should be changed. Yeah, they have changed it. So give the error to Loney. After that excellent look on the replay, that's what changed the call. So Alonso looking for his first hit, 0 for 3. Coffey's missing 1-1. cut. Don Mattingly looking out. On the big fella, Todd Coffey. No Padre runner has gotten to third base tonight.
Hey, were you in spring training with us when we showed the two guys inside the pants of Jonathan Broxton? I think we showed a picture of that.
Yeah.
That was something unbelievable. I mean, Coffey's a pretty big guy, too.
Yes, he is. We'll move Headley on to third, but it's an out as Alonso is thrown out. First base runner to third base all night. And it comes here in the 9th inning. So Denorfio will bat for the second time. If you missed it earlier, James Darnell had to leave the game. Tony Gwynn hit one in the alley there in left, and a diving attempt by Darnell, and he landed on his left shoulder and separated the shoulder and had to leave the game. Great swing there by Denorfio.
Boy, heavy sinker from Coffey. That's a 93. Always like the way Coffey attacks the zone. He can get it up there now, 95, 96 on that sinking fastball. Slider and a changeup as well from the right-hander. It's always good to have a guy like that out of the bullpen, too. Big, strong guy that can give you some innings. Need to chew up 2 or 3 innings in a game.
Inside. 92-mile-an-hour fastball that time.
He's a Trekkie, Coffey.
Really?
Yeah.
Base hit left field, and the Padres are on the board. Chris Denorfia will drive in Headley. And it's an 8-1 game. Nobody likes to get shut out.
No. Looks like Denorfia timed a 2-seam fastball from Coffey and put a good swing on it. Wants it down and away. It leaks down the middle, and Chris puts a good swing on it. It says here in the media guide that Todd Coffey, science fiction buff with particular interest in Star Wars and Star Trek.
All right.
May you live long and prosper, Todd Coffey.
He's using the force. Camp Bobby Abreu looking on.
He's got to be killing Matt Kemp,
Oh,
huh?
man.
Being on the DL.
I don't know anybody on the DL
It's not fun.
is able to sit in a dugout and watch a game. I mean, I would be itching to get out there. And there's two schools of thought. I mean, you want to be around your club for the camaraderie and just for the leadership to show that you are with these guys, win or lose, or even if you can't play. But it has to be killing them, as you point out, to not be able to go out there and join in the battle. Ground ball to second. This could do it. And it will on the double play for 6-3. And that is your ball game. Padres avoid the shutout. They score the run here in the 9th, but fall to the Dodgers by a final of 8-1. Time to check in with Mike Pomeranz to find out what's coming up on the postgame show.
Hey guys, hope you'll stick around. Join us. Got a decent show for you for sure. We're going to talk about how to hit in the batting cages. Great opportunity for young players and coaches to learn something from Mark Sweeney and Mark Grant and improve your game between the lines. Also, have to break down today's game. Aaron Harang looking red hot. The former Padre getting it done. And you're going to hear from the manager, Buddy Black. We'll see you in the postgame show.